You're listening to the Classic Gamers Guild podcast.
You place a finger in the hole and wiggle it about.
Paul and I are here to talk about our favorite, absolutely not spoiler-free endings of adventure games. Because sometimes the coolest thing about a game is the ending, and I mean, just as well we could be doing the 10 worst video game endings. If you're interested in that, let us know. But we thought we'd put together a list of our 10 best and then mash the list together and rank it like we have been doing some of the other lists to see if we can find out what the ultimate Paul and Anna's choice of best adventure game ever ending is. Hey, Paul.
Hey. That was a pretty convoluted intro. I gotta admit, it's on brand for an adventure game podcast. But man, so we're gonna rank the top 10 best adventure game endings ever.
Is that what it was? I was trying to say.
Yeah, something like that. Right.
Okay. Right.
And then, well, that's what we're doing. I guess now I feel like we usually kind of bumble and say more stuff, and then, like it feels weird to be like and go.
Yeah. That's true.
Should we say more words?
Well, I was a little bit reluctant to do this episode. I had another episode in mind, and Paul's like, well, time this and that. I think this is a really interesting idea. And I said, okay. It seems like a lot. 10 seems like a lot. And I message him partway, and I'm like, I only have like 4. 10 seems so far away. And he's like, do you want to see what mine look like? But I'm like, no, it's okay. But then by the time I got to the 5th one, I was right into it. And I ended up picking 10 plus an honorable mention. And now I'm super excited to hear yours. So it just goes to show I don't always know what I want to do until I'm partway into doing it. And maybe a lot of other people are the same.
Wow, that was reflective and deeply personal, and I appreciate you sharing around all of us. I don't like the way you represented me back there, by the way. The whole tyrannical, we're not doing this time something. Look, I assure you all, it was quite reasonable of me. There's a few details that have been omitted about who's editing and things like that. It's fine. We'll just leave it there. Yeah. Okay, that's the amount of words. Now I feel like Anna could start with her 10th best ending ever. Okay, before we get started on the number 10 here, we're gonna look. That's probably a pretty rough edit, so I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. We just kind of got tucked into Anna's number 10, and I'm like, wait, we gotta tell them about the bloody timestamps. We're gonna do timestamps. That way, if you don't want it spoiled, you can. Well, you get how timestamps work. They'll be in the description below. I mean, I don't know like geographically where it is in relation to you, but they'll be in the description of the podcast.
Right.
So, okay. Anna's going to start with her 10th best whatever thing of all time.
Right. So number 10 on my list, and I wasn't sure if you'd be happy that it was on my list at all. If you'd be happy that it was number 10 on my list or mad that it was number 10 on my list, Paul. But I put Dagger at number 10 because I love a game that has multiple endings. And this is a game that has multiple endings. Like, you can essentially fail the whole investigation at the end. It all goes out. There's no resolution. She didn't crack a thing. And you can totally finish the game and get the good ending, and you're fine. You've seen the bodies, you've heard it, you've collected the clues, explained the crime, and you do all right, and you win. But I like that ambiguity to it. Like, if you're not paying attention, you can still have a really good gameplay, but you're not going to get the payoff in the end where everything's okay. But if you are paying attention and you're taking notes and you're being diligent and everything is going the way that it's supposed to, the end of the game will arrive and you get that payoff. And then I've learned through One Short Eyes video, there's a bunch of random shit in there that doesn't necessarily make sense, but generally that's how it works. And that's a cool way to end a game.
Hubada. I might have to... It went away. Okay. No, Dagger Bomb... Sorry, that was like a ghost sneeze. The Dagger Bomb and Ross... Otherwise, it'd be a very strange response. Hubada.
Right. I thought that you were saying that because it was a lot of words or something. But I was like, it wasn't that many words.
Softly tribal of you. Hubada.
No, this is not Larry 3.
Dagger Bomb and Ross, a good shout. I was aware of it when I didn't put it on my list. I was like, I could maybe pick that, and then I didn't. But it's a good one. I like when you get the bad ending, how the guy breaks into Lara's room and just shoots her in her sleep. Mm-hmm. It's so brutal. There's something just so brutal about the whole idea of being off in your sleep. Like, not even... I mean, would you really want the chance to panic for your life the second before it's taken? Like, maybe that's for the better. But then again, this is a remarkably dark place to have taken your choice.
They all are. A lot of the Sierra endings are really about darkness or battling your own monster or becoming a monster to figure it out. And I don't know, if you do win, you get like the whole Sierra, gosh darn it, you did it, right? With all the details at the end. Like I find with LucasArts games, they tend to end a little bit quicker. And then they don't do that funny thing like after the credits, something random happens, or like they don't break the fourth wall quite in the same way.
Yeah, I adore your little passive-aggressive digs on LucasArts. And
there are LucasArts games in my list, just so you know.
No, the good ending is great. You know what doesn't happen in the good ending? You don't get shot to death in your sleep.
Yeah.
And that's how you know it's the good ending.
Yeah, like if you're in question. In the first one, it's a little bit more ambiguous. Like the game, you don't get a good ending and you're kind of like, something about this doesn't quite seem right.
Yeah, exactly.
And it leaves you to kind of think about it a little.
I thought I did a good job, but then they shot me in my sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you know.
I mean, there's a little bit of ambiguity in the Phantom Fellows in one of the missions on one of the days. You kind of get a little bit of a whodunit, and there's lots of different ways to answer the questions, in not just even the ways that you might think. But that's something that's a lot of fun to me, and a nice little payoff. A, it gives you the want to replay it to see what's going on, and B, it's just something different happens depending on your actions, which I always appreciate.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder if I should have been harder on the player for one of the three choices there in that whodunit.
Yeah, they all seem almost right.
Yeah, exactly. I hope that, yeah. It's communicated like just slight disappointment, slightly underwhelmed. Like maybe I should have gone a little harder so they knew it was wrong. But anyway, Okay, so I'm going to do my number 10 if you're all done with Dagger.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so my number 10 is Gabriel Knight, Sins of the Fathers.
Nice.
Okay, so Gabriel is... Okay, here's the scene, guys, right? Get this. Gabriel is tracking the voodoo murders, and it leads him to a hidden ritual beneath New Orleans. And that's where... okay, I'm going to try to walk a line this whole episode where it's like I want to... Obviously, we're spoiling things because it's the ending, but I'm also going to try to not, like, say exactly what's going on, right? Like, I want to... I don't know. I don't want to give, like every last little detail. That way, if you haven't played it, because I mean, let's be honest, most people listening to this, it's like if you haven't played Gabriel Knight and you're gonna play it, by the time you play it in 3 years from now, you'll have long forgotten this episode and it won't really have spoiled anything for you. But in the spirit of that, I just want to try to omit as many things as I can while still communicating why I picked it as a choice. Cool. So anyway, Gabriel tracks the killings to the woman behind it. See, that's me being shrouded. I'm not going to really say much more about it. You just know it's a woman bound to it. What a twist, maybe. Who knows? Was it a twist? I literally don't remember. In the final moment, Gabriel is forced to choose between ending the threat of violence or showing mercy. So it's like you have two different choices here, which obviously isn't uncommon or anything, but I do love a good fork in the road sort of choice. And you can choose to get vengeance or you can choose to show mercy. And it's like, I can't imagine playing this thinking that choosing vengeance is going to lead to the good ending, right? Because it's like, have we learned nothing? We all grew up on Saturday morning cartoons and stuff. Like, we know that you're going to have to show mercy and whatever and restraint to get the good ending. But obviously that's why these endings are so fun, because, you can save your game and see what happens. But, the real ending here, folks, isn't about the details and the voodoo and the mercy and the whatever. It's more about Gabriel accepting his role as a Schattenjäger, stepping into, what would you say? He embodies the legacy of his father. He steps into the role, I guess, that he was always meant to step into. And there's something cool about it because I feel like it anoints him as... I don't know, this like legendary figure that's going to go on and have adventures. Like,
right.
Yeah, it's like an anointing. That's peak
me
explaining it. Thank you.
Very nice.
And so yeah, that's why I like the ending. It's less the fork in the road. I mean, the game is amazing. The story's unbelievably good, and the visuals and the art at this point in the game are fantastic. So it does have all of that going for it also, but it's like, I don't know, it's less the specifics of the ending and more Gabriel becoming I don't know. I guess I already peeked out with the anointed thing. It's Gabriel becoming Gabriel, and now we'll go on to Gabriel Night 2, and he's a Schottenjäger, and it's on.
Yep.
Like
I will be
who knows
suspiciously quiet right now about it.
Who knows what happened, in the first episode, first issue of Spider-Man. Doesn't matter. The point is that he became Spider-Man, probably. Mm-hmm. So.
Probably.
Yeah, almost definitely. But okay, your turn. Anna's number 9.
Right, yes. So my number 9 is one that for some freaking reason seems to be making it onto every single list that I make. But Thimbleweed Park.
Wow. For
obvious reasons. See, how could I not completely break the idea? I like the fact that there's a few things, like you can rush through this game and just play it and finish it and it's done. Or you can do little things, like there's that ghost that was trapped in the hotel, or the whole Ransom and Sandy storyline. You can push into it and resolve it essentially and get more dialogue. I don't think it actually changes the end of the game, but you can go further. Like, actually, that was a little bit unsatisfying. I actually wanted a little bit more to that story arc, to be fair, but that's okay. Now that I'm thinking about how it all went down. But yeah, and there was just there was that ship in a bottle puzzle, and I don't know, there was some stuff you didn't actually have to do, but at the end, when you go into was it a pillow factory, right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. And then it kind of tells you that the world is a little bit different than you always thought it would be, and it shifts the idea of everything that you've done. But really, you can kind of leave the town unfinished, in shambles or whatever, or you can fix it up, either way. And then in the end, does it even matter? And it gets you to think about all these different, in context, what did matter of what you did and what you didn't do, and who you are and what you think. And to me, it just made me question a lot of different aspects instead of it just being as straightforward. I like it when something has that twist at the end that makes you rethink everything.
A few minutes ago, you said in the end it doesn't matter, and I just wonder who else out there got that Linkin Park song in their head when Anna said that, because that's that was okay. Well, I almost obviously have this on my list, and so I'll just wait to say words about it then.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So, but are you good? Are you satisfied? Do you feel heard, Anna? Do you feel really listened to?
I do. You guys are so good at listening. I appreciate that. Whether you're cleaning, vacuuming, mowing the lawn, driving, or laying there trying to fall asleep, I try not to suddenly scream or do high-pitched laughters to shoot you out of it. Sometimes I will listen to this podcast as I'm falling asleep to just kind of I like to think about it and what I say and the words I repeat and whatever's going on. And sometimes it's just funny if it's been long enough since we recorded it that I can listen to and be like, that girl's funny, but it's me. But it doesn't seem like me because, it's past me. Right. And anyways, then I'll fall asleep. So it's great.
Fantastic. Yeah. I like your earlier point there about how they do a good job of listening. Mm-hmm. They do, just having your ears passively open and just letting our words just slide right in.
Yeah, that's hot. There it is. Sexual innuendo number 1. Yeah, got it.
So we got to hit it before number 8. Okay, my number 9. Counting down from 10 is the real challenge here.
It's so hard.
If I've learned anything about doing these top 10s, it's counting backwards from 10 is difficult. Yeah.
Because it's technically 20.
And it's backwards. I don't usually count in that direction.
Do you ever
I'm more of a counts up sort of guy.
When you go to sleep, and this is for anybody listening too, if you ever can't sleep at night, I have a book called Psychological Exercises and Essays. And the tip I've been using for decades now is you would, you're going to love me for this, Paul, I'm sorry, but you would say 1, 10, 2, 9, 3, 8, 4, 7, 5, 6, 6, 5, 7, 4, 8, 3, 9, 2, 10, 1. So you're starting at 1 and 10, and then you're crossing in the middle and continuing on the other side. And if you get really good at it, you can go 1, 100, 299, 398, 497, and cross over at 50 and 51. And what it is it's tiring, but it's also methodical, and it makes your brain sleepy. So if that helps anybody, it's there for you.
I can't imagine that helping anybody.
You get faster and better at it. Like I can do 1 to 10 easy, and 1 to 30 is about the highest I can go without heavy concentration. I have never finished a 1/100 series.
How do you know the last one that you remember? All right.
It's just, 1/100, 299, 398, 497, 596, 695, 794, 898.
Okay.
3,
please
992,
stop.
1091, 1190.
You're making everybody sleepy, I guess?
That is
what that's supposed to be
They're
doing?
all going to go take it. They're going to be like, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to go try the math thing. They're going to stop listening to us. You are right. And you're going to go have a nap right now. And it's good for you. And I'm proud of you for doing that. Okay. What's your number 9?
Okay. My number 9 is, good God, girl, that was something. What a ride. My number 9 is Freddy Pharkas, Frontier Pharmacist.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, that should be on my list. And now I'm mad at myself.
That's adorable. I want that for my list. Freddy's. Look, I just like this ending. I don't know if I can really. Okay, I like the fact that he's kind of dragged into this like violent showdown. Everything's collapsing around. It's very chaotic. It's a very chaotic ending, and I do like chaos, right? So there's that, but it's like. The villains are turning against each other. You've discovered the twist and who the real bad person is all along. And if you read between the lines, me saying bad person and not bad guy is actually a spoiler.
Yeah.
But that's okay. There's time codes. They already skipped ahead because they're waiting to play. They don't know we're saying anything. We could actually talk shit about them right now because they've skipped this.
Have a clue.
They don't know. Yeah, all those losers that haven't played Fharkas. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm sorry. Okay, I mostly like... Okay, all right, let me slow down here. Freddy's a gunslinger who basically gets emasculated, but gets his ear shot off and it starts a new life as a pharmacist. It's not a heroic tale at first. And you come full circle at the end of the game, and he ends up in another shootout with the same guy who shot his ear off, and the guy shoots his other ear off. So he's still just not rising to the occasion here. and I like that. I like the misdirection of it. I like that it's anti-cliche, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's not what you'd expect. Even if you played it before and you forget, it's still a surprise.
That's exactly right, because we just went through that. Yeah, it took me by surprise both times. So there's something, I don't know, there's something charming about that. And I also like that he's kind of like sticking to his new identity. Now, he's not a gunslinger. He's a healer. He makes... medicines, whatever. And so I kind of like that he doesn't like go back to that, even though you kind of like spend the end of the game preparing to go back to that. But it's like you never end up doing it. I don't know. I guess we could just leave it all as I like the misdirect of it all. It's kind of a cascading series of misdirects. And then ultimately, I really like the outtakes part after the ending too. So I think it's a satisfying conclusion to the game. Slightly ambiguous.
Outtakes, Thimbleweed Park, stuff like that. I like that kind of extra stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Exactly. That kind of counts for. Like, I'm not picking Freddy because of the outtakes because that would probably be cheap. I really do like the ending. I like the misdirects. I like who the villain ended up being. I like the way you end up dealing with the other villain. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's a satisfying, good ending. And then there's like really fun outtakes where the voice actors play. I don't know. What would you say? Like spoiled, entitled Hollywood actors. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's
it's
a nice
funny.
touch. Yeah,
yeah, I like stuff like that. Sierra was good for that. Al and Josh too. You'd get the two of them together writing, and there'd be all sorts of that kind of silly nonsense.
Exactly. Yeah. And the game as a whole is just so good. Josh Mandel does such an awesome job with flavor text. That's
so
that's
much
all there,
flavor text. Tasty.
So good. Okay, you're number 8.
Yes, 8. Blade Runner. Again, as you can see, there's a bit of a theme. I like multiple endings. I like things to sometimes be a bit ambiguous. And like, it's not even just good endings and bad endings in this game. It's like best, worst, normal, sort of.
Right.
Like, you can kill all the replicants. you can follow all the rules, right? You can help them escape. You can. I haven't even played all of the endings of this game, and then with the whole AI thing, the game is just slightly different every single time. And then there's that girl, right? She can get killed, or she can not get killed. You can have the DNA. You cannot have the DNA.
You cannot even see her in the game at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't even know that was a possibility.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. She's a whole arc. There's 14 different endings.
Yeah. I was watching YouTube videos and I was having a hard time grasping all the different things that could happen. And yeah, it's a lot. And I think that's really interesting. Like, because you can, as I said, you can follow orders. You can eliminate all the threats. You can lose absolutely everybody. And that could be a win. Right? Or you can even fail to detect any replicants. You could have like messed up your decisions throughout the whole game. You can destroy people that are innocent and shouldn't have died. And then in the end, I think you can even get locked up. I haven't gotten that ending.
Well, I am being quiet because it's on my list.
Of course. Yeah,
So,
I kind of figured that. That's okay. You'll have a different take on it. But you can also get you can get it all. You can get the car with Lucy and you can save her. You can have the full DNA, solve the core problem, right?
Hey,
You
her
can be
name
like,
came
"This
back to you
system's
as we
fucked up."
talked about it. That's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a little arc here in Anna's in Anna's explanation, guys, because if you go back to the start of it, she's like, whatever the girl's name was, and here you've unearthed it, and you remembered it as being Lola or something. Lily, maybe.
Yeah, something with an L.
Lucy.
It's when I'm in a flow, I'll know it, but when I leave the flow, it's gone.
Clearly, because you just forgot it. Right. This is fascinating. This is a case study here. Anna's answer. I love it.
I am a case. I've never been analyzed psychologically, but I'm sure I would be fascinating. Hey,
I don't appreciate the emphasis you put on analyzing there. We all heard it. We know what you're doing. I disapprove.
I can't do it like Marge, but I always wish I could. That.
Yeah.
I can't do it, but I want to be able to do it so bad.
Oh, you should start smoking cigarettes.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Another 10 years and that should.
It'll be worth it.
Okay. Thank you.
It'll be worth it. Yep. Okay. We're going to go on to my number next.
Yes. Number 8.
Okay. My number 8 is Monkey Island 2.
Nice.
It almost felt obligational. It's
right.
I don't even know to what degree I really like the idea of it. I like what it did. I like the billions of conversations it started. I like the I don't know, the darker part of me could say I like the fights it started, all the arguing on the internet, the polarized, I hate it and I loved it that it seemed to have created. But it's like, I don't know. I like the trickster element. There we go. That's
me too.
The refined exact answer. I really love the little trickster element of it that Ron Gilbert unleashed in the world where, and to those who don't know, because those who do not want to know are already skipping with timestamps. So basically you're in this pirate world narrative, that takes place in vaguely 16 whatever pirate year. And it's suddenly, skipping lots of details, it's suddenly like the whole world just collapses into this like surreal reveal. And suddenly you're running about like in the back rooms of an amusement park.
Yeah. I love stuff like that.
Yeah, it's such a deconstruction. I mean, and basically, you and LeChuck are like in the employees only, under tunnels or whatever of an amusement park, having your fight, and then you emerge from that fight seemingly victorious, but it's then all of a sudden you're suddenly a child. You're a little child version of Guybrush. You've been kicked out of the employees only part of the theme park into the regular theme park with your parents. The villain the whole time, LeChuck, is seemingly your older brother. Might be some questions there to the mom though, because he has completely different features.
That's different.
Yeah,
she loves pirates. It's just a thing.
And the ending just completely pulls the ground out from the adventure game genre's feet, not just the player's feet. It really fucked with a lot of people. And then it ends ambiguously because the villain at the very last second turns to the camera, gives a wink, and as he does, his face ever so slightly morphs a little bit into the villain. And because of previous things to this point, the villain had left a few seeds about I don't know, what was it? Was it voodoo or was it, I don't know, like there's
Voodoo is
vague
kind of-
implications of magic, let's just say.
Yeah.
So it was just enough to be like, maybe it's not what it, like maybe he wasn't a child this whole time playing pirate with his older brother in a theme park. And the theme park obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but the theme park resembled scenes in the game, right? Like you could see where the child's imagination hooked on to, even the whole game itself already had a bit of a theme parky vibe to it, you know, like a, yeah, I can't articulate better than that. But anyway, there's enough ambiguity to not be completely sure if it turns out that you were a child playing with your brother this whole time, or if the villain actually casted a spell on you and this is a result of that. So it's great. I mean, it's fueled just, you know, decades of conversations, and
Yeah, I like that people love it or hate it. I like it when something divides people like that. I think it's great.
right, and yeah, exactly, and in a fun, refreshing sort of, you know, whatever. Okay, I'm all done.
All right. So for my number 7, I wanted something like an entry from this series, obviously, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to talk about the last entry in the series for its closure, but I ended up going with Quest for Glory 4, especially the Paladin route,
Okay.
because you're also there's a touch of bittersweet to everything in the end of this game to me. You free the Rusalka, but it means that she, you know, decays and falls into the water. And Nikolai goes off with his wife, but it means that he has to now die and become a ghost too. And you confront Katrina and she tells you that she actually genuinely loves you. Okay, now you have to kill her. And then you've defeated Adavis, which is satisfying because you've kind of been chasing him throughout the series, and the Dark One doesn't enter the world, which is great because the Dark One's been trying to destroy the worlds you've been in.
What a dick. Yeah.
It's like
Classic Dark One stuff too, let me say.
so classic. Like some personality disorder thing going on there for sure. So and then Arena is finally freed, right? Like, oh my God, finally you freed her. So she passes on to the next realm, wherever that is. Okay, fine. Because you haven't played the 5th one, you don't know anything. I sound so cynical, but it's actually a very lovely ending to a game. It does close a lot of loops. It is very satisfying because in the end, the town respects you because at first they were all suspicious of you. The gypsies are exonerated, and not that they should have had to have been, but they were, and that's good. So it was very satisfying.
That was a good read on it. Mm-hmm. It sincerely, because I hadn't really noticed the bittersweet undertone when I played it very recently, right? And
even
the way you
shopkeeper and his wife, like they have these memories and this sadness deep within them. They're going back together, but it's not all okay.
Yeah,
they're just going to try.
Yeah, that is the Tolstoy, Dostoevsky, that is like very Russian literature, actually, now that you're putting it this way. There is this deep, heavy burden of sadness running underneath of it.
Through all of Russian fairy tales. All right, kid. But you know what? It shows you to not always get happiness. You have to work hard, and things might go good, but they might also go bad, and it could be more of one than the other.
You just said that with a weird Russian kid. You're like, it goes to forget, not always with happiness. It was
yeah, he's good.
For make a good time. Was that anywhere near Russian there? I'll have to work on that more off the air. So,
I liked it.
It wasn't ready.
I liked it. Actually, because you just brought it out of nowhere and I've heard it, I was very impressed.
I mean, really? You think it's okay?
No,
well,
it's very good. I like.
I've exposed my fishing line as I go for that compliment. All right, so we're all done?
Yeah, now you can do number 7.
Okay. I'm probably not editing out the sound of the keys right there because it's not long enough. That's the timestamp. See, I'm diligently doing work here, people. We're getting timestamps written in. I should cut all of that, but it's fine. It's fine. My number 7.
It's behind the scenes, but directly in the episode. Isn't that more fun?
And speaking of, Anna, thank you for accidentally setting me up with the transition. My pick here for number 7 is Leisure Suit Larry 3.
Haha, nice.
Right?
Good pick.
That actually worked out so good with that little transition. So
beautiful.
Okay, there's 2 reasons. Same as I said about Freddy. I'm being oddly consistent here. I'm not picking Larry 3 because of the behind-the-scenes moment, even though it's more integrated into the game than Freddy Pharkas, because Freddy Pharkas, it's more literally just outtakes for a yuck at the end. But I don't think I've ever said for a yuck before, like an actual practication. But with Larry 3, it's a little more integrated in the game, but I'm also picking Larry 3, so it is two-part. I'm not sure if it would stand alone with either one of the parts, but it doesn't matter because it has both of them. I really like how Larry 3 ends on an oddly wholesome note. Mm-hmm. Because for those who don't know, Larry is, you know, is a what would you say, terminally single guy. Not a hit with the ladies, doesn't quite get it. He's has an unearned sense of confidence.
Yeah. Lived with his mom way too long.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if, I don't know, 40-year-old virgin, but if that, I'm speaking of the movie, but like if Steve Carell like had, you know, a leisure suit and a bunch of unearned confidence.
I would watch that movie. I mean, of Steve Carell as Leisure Suit Larry. I would watch that.
Me too, samesies. But so anyway, Larry, you know, is a bit of a, I mean, he kind of wants to be a player. It's an odd aim, but that is his aim, and he's not good at it. But for a game series that starts out with, you know, buying condoms and sleeping with a prostitute, by come the third game, you actually end up falling in love with this girl, Patty, and it's a real, it's just really nice. Like, you really don't expect it. I guess it is another, what's that word? Bloody, when you think one thing's going to happen, but then it doesn't.
Oh, like a plot twist?
Yeah, I guess so. But like a misdirection?
Yeah.
Something like that? Man, I swear I said it a few minutes ago.
Like magicians would use?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's one of those. There's one of those things a magician might use. Sorry. Look, I'm losing. I know I'm losing the audience because I'm losing myself in my interest for what I'm talking about. Yeah. It's too much chaos. Okay, reel it in. Larry shouldn't fall in love, you wouldn't think, with a girl, but he actually does, and they actually get together and stay together, and it's a lovely little misdirection. And then on top of it, you also get to walk around like we just went through this last episode, so I'm just going to breeze by it really quick, but it's like it's the idea of like seeing the Warner Brothers movie lot, right, where you get to see the sets and the props and the whatever of your favorite films. Sierra does that by showing you the sets and props of the other games being made at that time, and it's a real hoot. So, we don't
need to sing the Animaniacs again this time, but just know we did the last time.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And it was worth a gander. You should go check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
We were surprising harmony there. It was a good. We both do F sharp pretty well, so that's how it worked. Whole thing. Yeah. I'm all done.
Okay, great. Well, my number 6 is one that you have no input on, and I seem to keep cramming it into every single list, which is Grim Fandango. Are you going to play that then? Because now I'm going to ruin the ending for you.
I know. How do I skip ahead on this shit? Yeah.
No, mute. I'm not editing anymore. I lied. Anyways, again, there's a few different kind of endings on this, but and I don't want to give it up because it's such a good ending, but the whole operation that's been running, it gets shut down.
I'm going to come back in 1 minute. So you have 1 minute to say stuff you don't want me to hear.
Okay,
go.
All right. It turns out I'm not so good by myself. But anyways, the point was everyone's already dead. So you're not playing a game to keep anybody alive. You're trying to earn them a better passage and kind of get peace for the characters. And Manny, it's very validating because in the end, instead of being a part of the stuff that's going on, he ends up helping others to move on. And in the process, kind of exposing corruptions and I don't know, Domino, he doesn't do well either, right? In the end, it became what he created that was his own demise in there. So anyways, everybody kind of, it becomes just
15 seconds.
So that's it. The loop is closed. The game is over. You're at the end of the system of the afterlife and everybody gets to go. So that's it. It's actually a lot more resolved, I think, than Monkey Island 2 as far as a plot goes.
Dude, good job.
Thanks. I'm glad you liked it.
I did. I was watching your little audio bar bouncing to make sure it didn't flatten out in a panic.
All right, what's your number 6?
Okay, my number 6, after your little time code is written, is The Dig.
Ooh, I did not put that on my list.
I spent a really long time, I spent a disproportionate amount of time thinking about The Dig and The Dig's ending. There was 2 games on my list that 3 that I spent a really long time digging into the ending, and damn it, I didn't mean that. I take it back.
No, The Dig is dug.
Fuck. All right. Well,
Get deeper.
I was really stress testing this answer. Because look, there were some good things that were cut off the list. I want everything on the list to be, for a good reason. So, man, I think I'm just going to overshare about The Dig right now because I need to get it out of my system. But like, the ending is so good because it's such a cinematic, well fleshed out, layered ending of a game. Like the whole story is like that, and then they bring it home in such a nice way. But long story short, you're doing the movie Armageddon, except for when you get to the asteroid, you don't blow it up. The asteroid transports you to an alien world, and when you're on that world, that was such an efficient way to get to this part of the game. Like already, like 4 seconds, thanks to Armageddon, we're able to Trojan horse our way into the heart of the game.
Well done.
Into the ending. You uncover a lost alien civilization that used to use life-restoring crystals, essentially. And basically that led to their collapse. Because basically like overuse led to dependence and therefore the collapse of their society. And just in that little sentence is packed a whole bunch of really interesting lore and good writing. And so anyway, we've already, there's 3 of you, there's Boston Lowe, there's Maggie, and there's Brink. You play Boston. Brink gets completely destroyed by the crystals, which is a really, really handy writing tool because we get to see what happened to the aliens by witnessing it happen to Brink.
And it kind of almost like, and it fit each character's stereotype very well, what ended up happening to each character, I thought.
It did, yeah, exactly. Well put, I agree. So you get to see Brink, he basically like abandons his humanity for immortality.
Yeah.
Which is, again, just a very fun philosophical rabbit hole to go down. Like, what is the cost of immortality? It might be your humanity. And so Brink gives himself over to the same fate that destroyed the aliens. And it's a nice little, again, just a nice little study, a case study of how this society collapsed to the point that it is when you find it.
Maggie just fucked off.
Yeah, Maggie did just fuck off. After she magically decrypts an entire language, and that was one of the weaker parts. That's fine. It's okay. They do that in this game's defense. I've seen that happen in a lot of different movies and such, where they just like immediately handle the translation problem with just like, oh yeah, she's good at languages. Like what? Really? I've been working on Italian for 2 years, and this shit is hard. Anyway, where am I at? Sorry. So, come the end of the game, how much of this do I really want to... Okay. I'm picking this because there's... Man, I cannot say this word. Ambiguity. There we go. I had to really slow down. Childlike speed. Ambiguity.
That sounds like a mucky word.
It did. It was very gooey. Ambiguity. Let's give it a little more QE-ness in it. All right, let's stop
more intuitive GUI.
Right. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm picking this ending because there's ambiguity about whether humanity should use what they've discovered. And that's such a great way to such a great note to end on, because basically the game handles it with a delicate touch, with the perfect amount of that word back there, with the gooey one.
Yeah.
And it poses like a good question, like to turn a game off and to still just stay at the computer screen for a minute, being like, like what would I do? It seems like this crystal is doomed to destroy societies. Like it destroyed this advanced alien species, and they were far more advanced than we were, and they were still susceptible to it. It destroyed Brink in like a day. Our fellow human or whatever, coworker,
and he thought
colleague.
He was so smart.
Right, exactly. But at the same time, I mean, it is an antidote to mortality, right. And you're heading back home with it. And then there's all the implications of like, what humans would do to harness that sort of power and exploitation and all that kind of, stuff.
Right.
So that's why I picked The Dig.
Very good.
Phew. Okay, that was a lot on everyone. Okay, what's your number 5?
Right. So my number 5 is Curse of Monkey Island. So I'm going to one-up you on that because I think it does a nice twist on the resolve of what happened at the end of the second Monkey Island game. And it kind of like, instead of entirely ignoring it, it's like, oh, because before it's like, are they just kids in a theme park? And it's like, yeah. But then now Guybrush, he turns into a kid, but then he turns himself back and he gets the lady of his dreams. He gets to marry Elaine. I think that's a very satisfying ending because it gives him power and agency over what's happening to him. And it keeps it ambiguous, but also solidly flows through the same storyline. You've got the amusement park. You've got that very satisfying kind of continuation.
Right, okay. I completely forgot about the Carnival of the Damned part where he literally becomes a child again. So now all the stuff you said makes the sense.
Right. Yeah, it's logic. It's the same kind of LucasArts logic that's been played through the whole game series. So it was satisfying for me because you don't know when you're going to be playing a game that is aesthetically different. This one is kind of like playing a cartoon. You don't even know because LeChuck changes forms, right? Is he a ghost? Is he a zombie? Like there's all these little inconsistencies in that game series that it's nice that it brought it home with such consistency to me. It was very satisfying. Short game, but very satisfying.
It was a classic ending. Like it sews everything up and puts the guy and the girl together and does
off on the ship and that's it.
Yeah, good choice. It's not on my list, and it might have made my list if I had remembered about the Carnival of the Damned part, but I momentarily forgot because I
was happy you did the second one because mine built on your answer, so
right.
really we
Even
coordinated almost on purpose.
Right. Well done. All right. Do you have anything else you want to say about it?
No, if you haven't played it, it's worth your time. It's like 3 or 4 hours, and it's hilarious and it's beautiful.
It's good. It's my favorite Monkey Island. I like it the most.
It's really, really good. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess that covers off Monkey Island. Yeah. So I'm actually saying these words right now to buy myself time to write the timestamp down, and I did. So my number 5 is Thimbleweed Park.
Nice.
It was hard not to put it up higher on the list, but you guys are frankly getting sick of me shoehorning Thimbleweed Park into the top of my list here.
It keeps happening.
So I put it at a humble, non-hubristic number 5, and I'm going to say more than Anna did. I wonder how this should be off-air talk, but it's not going to be. I wonder, should we do the timestamps where like I'm going to have to put the name of the game so they know what they're skipping.
Yes.
But then they're going to see what our top 10 is the cost of that. But I guess.
Oh, yeah, in the description. That's okay, though. It brings interest because they're going to be like, what did they say about Thimbleweed Park?
Yeah, I can't believe he put blank at number 2.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Because most people are like, why would we want to listen to the whole episode anyways? That takes a lot of time. So thank you for telling me right here and now.
Right. They can just read the episode in a list and move on with their day. Everybody wins.
Exactly. Nobody needs to. They can be like, I agree, I disagree. That's it. Great.
Yeah. This is so efficient.
Nobody can talk about it because of spoilers. So I don't even know if anyone's going to listen to this episode anyways. We could just be talking to nobody right now.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Good news. We're back from our huddle. You don't have to listen to this episode. You can just read the list.
You've already wasted 45 minutes of your precious time.
Man. Okay. All right. I'm going to say more about Thimbleweed Park than Anna did. So here we go. Okay. I feel like that's where the timestamp should go, though. Now I'm changing my timestamp. So
okay.
Sorry, guys. Because again, this is already a lot to manage, so I'm probably not editing this out. Okay. Thimbleweed Park. So all the stuff that Anna just said, but I'll add a few notes. So there's weird little anomalies that happen throughout the game. Yeah. Just like these weird little, and I think it was done with such a masterful touch because they're very light touches. They're not like in your face. Even having replayed this game 1 or 2 times, like because sometimes what is perceived as a light touch the first time, when you see it the second time, knowing the context, you're like, actually that was pretty obvious. I don't think that's the case with this game. I think it's very subtle. There's just these little, I don't know, glitches. There's this sort of, I don't know. By the time you learn that the world of Thimbleweed Park, the characters become aware of their own constructed reality, let's say. So the world the story kind of like suddenly turns inwards towards the characters who are now questioning their own existence because they're self-aware to the fact that they're in a matrix, that they're in a simulation. And it's a very, very ballsy ending. It happens arguably quite suddenly. Again, if you're not noticing all these little cracks and wondering what's going on, and some of them are more on the nose than I just alluded to be fair, because there's a few that they hit pretty hard on the nose where you're just... Yeah. I think at one point, like as Ray, you're like knocked out in a sewer by something shadowy, and it's like that's never really addressed. There's a few moments where it's just like, that was weird, and I can't think of an explanation for it. And then finding out you're in a simulation answers it, but it's really fun because like you as the character are aware that you're now in the simulation, and the game essentially ends with, you know, everything restarting again to a degree. I mean, there's a hint of like liberation that they're stepping out of the system, but there's also this overarching, well, I guess the very last moment at the end of the credits where it's just like, no, they didn't liberate themselves. The game's just starting over, and they're going to have to do this forever. For
Shades
eternity.
of the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. No full spoilers, but often the ending can be called a little bit controversial due to technically something along those lines.
Okay, very
It's
cool.
like, what is the point of everything you've done if it doesn't matter in the end?
Right, that's a great point, because I think that's where a lot of people take issue with it, or they attribute it to like, oh, it was all just a dream, but I think that's to undercut it. I think it was brilliantly done. I think it takes you by surprise. I think they leave breadcrumbs throughout the entire game that hints towards it. They back themselves into corners you think they can't get out of, but this one solves, which I get it. That's also what a dream sequence does too, but I also just really love the simulation argument. I really like the simulation theory. I could talk at everybody right now for 55 straight minutes about it because it seems... I really like it. I like Nick Bostrom's work at Oxford regarding it. He kind of kickstarted the whole conversation in like 2001, but I really like it, and I love when a game leans into it, so there we go.
Good choice.
Thank you. Okay, your number... Next. 4.
Number 4 is, the reason I didn't say much is it's actually Gabriel Knight 2. And the reason I've moved it up in my list, even though it's something I didn't play as a kid, and you know nostalgia is always a huge hit for me, is because I've been thinking of Carl Jung lately and his books and his readings, and in the end, Gabriel wins by becoming the monster. So he had to integrate himself to be who he is, to end the bloodline curse. And just on a psychological level, there's a lot to take in and a lot to think about in that. I think it's really fascinating. I know you've already said a lot about that, but there's no way he could have won that battle without becoming all of who he is altogether and accepting every part of himself. And like you said, it becomes that of legend, right? But anyways, he learns to use that curse in his toolkit instead of being like, it's something I need to avoid. And I kind of resonate with that, because you're like, well, if you can't see the monster that you are, as well as everything else that you are, then you can't control the monster that you are. And I keep having these conversations with people in random places about that sort of thing. So that's why.
Very good articulation of it. Yeah, definitely has huge... I wouldn't be surprised if Jane Jensen was consciously aware of this. If not, it's probably in the zeitgeist enough, like the unarticulated idea of shadow integration. But it's, considering he's a Schattenjäger, which I think means shadow hunter, it's pretty on the nose. To where I guess I wouldn't be surprised if she did or didn't know, because again, it's somewhere, it's woven into our culture to at least a subconscious degree anyway.
Have you played Grey Matter? I have a listener who I was talking with, Eric, a little while ago, and suggested that Jane Jensen's other games for writing purposes, Mobius and that, are really worth taking a look at. But I haven't played any. Have you?
No, I just talked to Adventure Game Geek about this a week or so ago.
Oh, funny.
Mobius is what came up, though. I don't think Grey Matter did. He personally wasn't a fan of Mobius.
Oh, okay, yeah. Grey Matter's the one that I was...
Unless he doesn't want that information public, in which case... My bad. So
good way to find out. Are you listening?
Yeah, now we'll know.
Are
exactly.
you
It'll be like,
listening?
it turns out I didn't. I'll be like, wow. Well, haven't we all learned something today? So, okay, that was your number 4. It was a good number 4.
Thank you.
It was a very nice articulation of what's going on there. Okay, so
I numbered them by the ones I remembered first became my number ones, and the ones I had to think about became my later numbers. That's how I gauged them.
Nice. I'm so glad you talked then, so I could type the time code too.
Oh, good, because I thought I was just simply interrupting you as I do.
Right. No, it was a good one.
Okay.
It was most of your interruptions of me are necessary, and that was no different. Yeah. My number 4. That's how this works. Got it. My number 4 is Loom.
Right. Oh, you know what? That's a controversial ending you've just picked there.
You know, I think it should be higher up even than it maybe is on my list. Actually, I don't know. My top 3 is pretty solid. Past me was more or less on the mark. All right. It's a really, really good ending. It is controversial, as you said, because it's bitter. It's bittersweet. It's the opposite of a Curse of Monkey Island ending. It's not everything gets put back to normal and the guy gets the girl. I mean, there's no girl in the game, but there's none of that wholesome, tropey Hollywood sort of ending. It's I don't know. At the end of Bobbin's journey. Okay, so God, I don't know how to. Here's what Loom is in a sentence. If you don't know what Loom is, because it's so damn.
There's music
abstract.
And adventure.
Yeah, Bobbin is a weaver. He uses a staff and music to essentially cast, I guess, spells. That's probably the best I can do. Look, it's a dude with a staff and a robe. There's magic and shit. It takes place a good 200 years ago. Well, so it seems. I mean, people are like forging swords and fire and stuff, right? So that's.
And there's death and dying, although it's not you, and even though it's a LucasArts game.
Right. God, yeah. I might just have to you're on your own on this one. I'm just gonna have to. If you don't know Loom, then maybe you skipped ahead of this because you didn't want to hear the ending. So there we go. Right. You're here. You guys know what's going on with old Bob and Threadbare. So, in a sense, in this game, he doesn't conquer or defeat darkness. He transcends it.
Yeah.
He transforms into something beyond human, and kind of I don't know. I started off strong there. Essentially, he transcends the world that he knew as it was and leaves his entire life behind for a higher, unknown purpose. Mm-hmm. It is kind of vague, but it does seem like he's definitely transcended. He's definitely moving upwards. We don't know too exactly what, but that's what makes it kind of mysterious and a bit haunting in a sense. It's less about triumph and more about change. Mm-hmm. There we go. That's a good way to put it, because he's not. Yeah, again, he's not really defeating darkness. He's transcending its impact on him.
Well put. Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. I'll just stop right there then.
That is the moment. Okay. Is that all you want to say about it?
I'm all done. Yeah.
Okay. Well, my number 3 on the list is Day of the Tentacle, which is a game that I didn't finish the first few times because I had an error in my disc and it wasn't till much later. But I like a few things about the ending. I like how they convinced what's his name to shoot the laser off the doctor's head, and I like how the 3 of them were all stuck together. And it turns out that the answer for that was that you just need to. I think it, and I've heard it said that it was a Star Wars reference, but I don't know it well enough to understand. But they're all supposed to, they're not a monster. They're all stuck together in just one set of clothes. And so they kind of just work their way out of the mess all by themselves, which is funny. And then at the end, it had the little nod with the tentacle American flag, because it was like a time travel game and they changed the past and it came full circle into the future. So everything isn't exactly what it was or what it seems. So and then the whole ending was cute too, because all the fun little stuff, right? They're they did the little LucasArts logo, and then the dude ran away, and then the tentacle took over instead. They did this fun little thing in the credits. I love that.
It was very fun and very squishy.
It's so squishy.
Those little suction-y sound effects that they make. It's a great shot for anything. It's not on my list, but you describe it in a way that makes me wish it was. Okay, my number 3 is another one that I went on a really deep dive about. That came out like a Watsky bar, didn't it? Another one that I went on a really...
Did a really deep dive and talk about it, all you guys wrote now?
Man.
No. He does it so much better than I do. I was never meant to be a rapper.
He's got at least, 15 obsessive years ahead of you, though. If you start now and aim obstinately towards that as your goal,
Have you heard of
You
Rapping
could get
Granny?
on that one. Rapping Granny, no, I haven't.
She was on a Snoop Dogg video and they ended up recording a track together. It was epic because he's like, "Hey, I know you. You Rapping Granny."
Nice.
Yeah, it was great.
I love late stage Snoop.
He's so great. He's so smooth. Like I love him in the Little Dicky video. Have you seen that one from a few years ago?
No, I haven't.
Little Dicky goes up and then he's all like, Jewish, uncertainty in that, but he's like, I can rap, and Snoop Dogg's just like, you want a doobie and some head from my consultant, and it was such a great video.
Yeah, I remember you. Yeah, you were the one that sent me that too. That's
Probably.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
She loves the Little Dicky.
I do love Little Dicky. I do.
All right, get out of here, crazy knuckleheads. Yeah. Let's do number 3. Okay, so it's my number 3 is A Golden Wake by Grundislav. Bit of a deep cut here, or whatever the kids call it, because man, not a lot of you have played this game.
Right? I shouldn't listen.
Oh, maybe you shouldn't.
No. Okay, give me 1 minute. I'll come back in 1 minute.
I've only got 1 minute.
Yeah.
I only gave you 1 minute. What an asshole.
You only gave me 1 minute.
Okay, wait, don't go yet. Because I'm going to tell people about the game real quick, and then I'll have you go for the ending part. Okay, so, because almost nobody knows, and I'm sure many of you didn't care enough to skip it, because you're like, I'm never going to play that. Which, I guess is fair. I really, really like A Golden Wake, though I do recognize I'm increasingly alone on that. I don't think people that played it don't like it. I just think that not enough people have played it. Look, it doesn't matter. I don't need to defend Golden Wake here. You can play it if you want to. But it's a historical adventure game. See, I lost a lot of you right away.
Yeah. If it's not
including
Gold
Anna,
Rush.
apparently. She's like, yeah. I'm fucking, why'd you make me stay? I'm trying. It's another historical adventure game with gold in it. That's how I reel out Anna back in.
James just said Red Dead Redemption 2 should be during the Gold Rush days and align it with that whole timeline.
Well, he's really close to historically correct.
He is. Everything about the game historically correct. Did you know there's videos that are hours long explaining how historically correct it is?
Yeah, I've watched some of them.
Yeah,
they're really good. Like the way the power lines run is accurate. It's crazy.
Oh, I can't wait till we do our Red Dead episode.
Anna's been chipping away at playing Red Dead 2, and we're gonna cover that one day. Cause
I played it last night. I just did the wagons and filled with gas, and I had to deliver them for the train, the later one.
Right.
It was good.
That's a good one. That's one that took me forever the first time, and then the second time I looked up on YouTube and somebody had like a almost cheat. Like it's not a cheat, but it's like a really easy, like holy shit, I didn't know you could just do that sort of solution.
Yeah, me too. I did it the hard way over and over and kept dying, and then Jacob's like, so how are you choosing to do this? And I'm like, oh, it's that easy, and it actually was. Right,
we must be thinking this, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not here to spoil that game. I'm here to spoil every other game we're talking about.
Right, that's right, exactly. Okay, so you don't have to go yet, though. So Golden Wake is a historical adventure game about Alfie Banks, who, and yes, I am reading this, who is a small-time New York real estate man who heads to 1920s Florida during the land boom. He's hoping to reinvent himself and strike it rich, and as he climbs through deals, ambition, and increasingly murky compromises, the game becomes less about selling land and more about chasing the American dream. Okay, now you should go.
Okay, so my number 2...
Wait, no, you should leave for a minute so I could say the ending thing.
Right, of course. I was trying not to listen because I didn't want to hear it, and it turns out I wasn't listening at all.
I should have excused you a while ago. That's fair. This deviated into Red Dead. It's just been a whole thing.
Sorry, it's one of those episodes. There's a few tangents. Okay, I'll be back. Bye.
Okay, bye. Okay, hey guys, it's just me and you right now. So listen. Oh shit, I only have a minute. Okay, listen. For real this time. When I was just reading about the game, like you start out with all this hope, like I'm going to go and I'm going to reinvent myself, I'm going to strike it rich, and then as the description puts quite aptly, it's like deals and ambition start to fall through one by one. You start to make dodgy compromises, morally speaking, as you're tempted by doing things the wrong way. And the game does a really, really good job of painting this picture of how difficult it is to navigate the world virtuistically, first of all. And it also, it addresses an angle that almost nothing does, which is the angle of, what about those who don't make it to the top? Like, what about those who don't succeed? Oh shit, is that her? Don't come back yet. Beat it, see? Scram! It's basically,
I can't hear your words, but I'll give you another 30 seconds.
Okay, please, thank you. I'm so wordy. You know this. I don't know how to stop. Okay, so Alfie spends his life chasing something that's just out of reach. Success and recognition and, a place among those who have made it. And he just doesn't quite get there. And it's like, it's so bitter and it's so human and so unbelievably relatable and realistic and yeah, we always hear nothing but stories of those who made it and what it's like to climb to the top. And here's somebody who's ambitious and he has potential and he has promise and he's oriented in the right way and he's doing the best. But it's just yes, you make some poor decisions and you, to a degree, I guess, seal your own fate. But it's just very human. It's not poor decisions that it's like he obviously screwed himself there. It's like, you can see why he makes some of the poor decisions that he makes. And ultimately, he never quite gets there. But in the end, he does end up sacrificing his life to save somebody else. Ironically, he actually saves Merrick, the guy who started Coral Gables, which this game is based around. Again, the whole land boom of the 20s in Florida. So he ends up sacrificing himself for one of the men he was trying to become. Like somebody at the top of a hierarchy who climbed there and was wildly successful and things like that. And the game closes at his funeral in the Everglades, and it's like instead of a celebration of success, it's more a reflection of for all those who tried and fell short, and it's really bitter and really human, and I just absolutely adore it. And there's certainly no other game that had the balls to end on that note, so that's why it's number 3. Anna, you can come back.
Thank you. I was getting lonely out there.
Okay. Hi, welcome back. I said a bunch of stuff.
That's okay.
Man, we should play Golden Wake one day. It's such a good game.
Yeah, clearly we need to. I mean, yes, please.
Okay, I'm ready for your number 2.
Leisure Suit Larry 3.
Nice.
And I think it's great for a lot of the reasons you said. I like the magic marker and escape, which actually throws a lot of people off. They're like, oh, I have it and I can't just escape, but it is possible. And yeah, the same. They're hanging out. Okay, the minute that the game ended and they're doing the overview on the table and they have the police quest stage set up for driving, and they're actually filming, and then they're like, it's dead silent, and they're like, hit it, and then the music comes in from the police quest game. That was the most delightful moment for me in a game ever. So and then to wrap it and full circle, Larry gets offered that job at Sierra because him and Patty are going to move to California, which the story is actually continued in one of the game guides. They move in together. He goes off and does Leisure Suit Larry 5, and technically they're making it come full circle because Larry is making games based on his own adventures. So technically he's making his own games. So when they've moved off together to live together, Patty is frustrated because she's always sitting at home by the phone and doing her job of phone sex operator and stuff from home. We don't know if she was doing more than that at the time, but she had to supplement the income while Larry was out carousing. And after a few years, she just started to feel real neglected. Tough time.
Yeah. What she does with that is morally ambiguous.
Yes.
Yeah, that's. I guess I'll spare everybody any thoughts that I have because for some reason the ending of Leisure Suit Larry 3 can't stop coming up in our episodes. But it's amazing. I put it on my list because of you, because you reminded me of it that one episode ago when last time with the Tiny Toons and stuff. Mm-hmm. So that was a very confusing sentence for a good choice. So. Okay, I'm gonna do my 3, or do you want to say more stuff about Larry?
Nope. That was my number 2.
Okay, and you're done. You're good.
Yeah, you would be doing your number 2 now.
Okay, cool. All right, yeah. Let's not drop the ball now. We're so close. That's wildly the wrong time code. Okay, cool. Got it. My number 2 is. Wait, are you sure you don't have anything else you want to say about Larry 3? I really feel like I rushed you out of that.
Well, not. I mean, that was my whole point. It just in the very end, everything becomes. It's kind of similar to Thimbleweed Park, Like, it means that the set, the cannibals, all of it is a production. It's a set. Everything's been constructed. There is no illusion.
Whoa.
The characters you see are actually the people making the games themselves and getting hired within their own company.
Dude.
Yeah.
I never thought of that. That's so interesting.
So I guess I had one other thing to say.
I'm so glad I oddly, yeah. That was okay. So the implication of Larry potentially writing his own games means that everything under the Sierra umbrella, like it's all just been a product of potentially his work.
Yeah, or at least on the Larry side, and even the earlier games, now you have to think about it this way. If he was asked at the end of Larry 3 to write his own games, either the first games were written by somebody else within the company of Roberta until he started doing it himself, or it's a time fuck. Because that happened, but it's just reviewing what happened to show the viewers how he started writing. But actually, at that point, he started writing the first Leisure Suit Larry game.
He'd have to writing about the first Larry game.
Yeah.
To show you how he got there. Right.
Yeah.
That
exactly.
somehow makes sense, miraculously.
It really does. I've thought about this one probably a little too much.
Very cool. Good stuff. Okay, now I'm satisfied. That was good. Okay,
good.
So 79-17, people. That's where you'll have skipped to. Welcome back. Okay, my number 2 is... and actually that number is not true because of intros and all that. Look, I don't need to drag you through the mud on number stuff. My number 2 is... We are number 2. Yep, my number 2 is Space Quest 5.
Nice.
I have such a good reason for this. I
like to hear it.
I'm almost going to talk myself into wishing I put it first, but it's okay. My first is a good choice. Space Quest 5, I mean, is Roger basically... Okay, so Roger Wilco, quick run through, he's everybody's favorite space janitor, which is just immediately one of the best notions for any IP that's ever existed, where it's like, no matter how advanced mankind gets, you might still just be the janitor. Love that. Love a good humbling. I don't mean that life. Please don't. Please don't humble me. So Roger starts out in Space Quest 1, an accidental hero, I guess you could say, who's just a lazy space janitor, rather nap in the janitorial closet than face the problems, which isn't necessarily true, because even at the end of the first one, he does face the problems, and that's a whole nother thing, and possibly Space Quest historian video, I'm not sure. But the reason I'm picking Space Quest 5 is because it is my favorite series, and it is also... It's probably the cleanest arc in Sierra, where Roger actually has this complete arc, and by the 5th Space Quest, he becomes the hero that he's been stumbling towards being all along. Like, he becomes the captain of the ship, and yeah, the ship has to go throughout the galaxy and collect garbage, but damn it, it's his ship, and that's what matters here, and he gets the girl, and yeah, he realizes his potential. And it feels like he earned it, in his own Roger way. Like he realizes his potential, becomes the best that Roger could possibly be. And I don't know, if you think about it, it might be the only character in all of Sierra's catalog that gets to do that, because they get rid of Sonny Bonds by the 4th Police Quest. You don't stay King Graham enough in King's Quest. You switch to Rosella and Alexander, 3 out of the 6 times. Okay, 8 times. No, well then it's 4 out of the 9. Whatever. Yeah, it's like a nice, clean, awesome arc. Space Quest 6 kind of puts Roger back to where he started, which not a lot of people love, but it doesn't matter, because we're on Space Quest 5 where he becomes the hero, and you love to see it.
It's true.
So, didn't you love to see it?
Well, I loved it so much that it's my number 1 game on my list.
Oh, that's why you were quiet. I'm sorry. But this is perfect because it's your turn to do one. Okay.
And it's very satisfyingly Sierra and that's part of exactly what I was saying. He actually wins properly. He did it on purpose. He had something to lose. Right? And he could lose everything anyways. He destroys the ship to stop the virus, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
So now he has sacrifice. Now that means he has to have had personal growth, and it's all kind of foreshadowed throughout the game. Like the whole freezing and containment stuff, everything kind of gets set up along all the points. So I don't know. It's a Star Trek parody in a way, right? And
Yeah.
yet there's actually real stakes. It's funny. I feel tension when I'm playing it. It's got that whole like Star Trek was really big on like a no-win situation. You've got an entirely incompetent crew. You've got an escalation of some sort of an issue that is never going to be okay because there's no way that they can possibly win it, and you have to bend the rules to make it happen. And that's kind of what Roger does. He there is no clean win really. It's a sacrifice-based solution, and it works, right? It's the virus was resolved, Quirk was resolved, B was saved, and it was really meant to be the end of the series, which is why I think it was so satisfying. Like that was the end. This was it for Roger, for the series. Everything's wrapped up neatly. The person who had to do things to survive became the person who did things because he had to do things. The end.
I can't believe you picked that as number one. I mean, I obviously agree, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm surprised. I didn't know you felt that way.
I did replay it like 3 months ago, so it is fresh in my head.
Man, cool.
So I do like all of this. I mean, maybe I don't actually represent how much I adore the Space Quest series and how important it is in my life, but I was just talking to my friends in Cheese Chat, which is a chat that I'm in with a bunch of cool people like Jess and Sean from Fogtown and various others, and Sarah Kelly, and I was just literally talking about that in there. I just had a whole conversation about it.
Very cool. About the end of Space Quest 5 or Space Quest 5 in general?
No, the ending. Yeah.
Very cool. Okay. Yeah, it almost makes sense in a way that Roger gets taken back to the start in Space Quest 6, because that is kind of like so Roger, I guess you could say. Even though it does bum me out, but it's also a trope of the time. There was something about like the early 90s where like dudes weren't allowed to win. I'm not saying that that's I don't know that that's changed. I don't even know if there's sitcoms still anymore. But I'm mostly just thinking of like Al Bundy and Homer Simpson, and it's like no matter how good they did in the episode, you knew it was all going to get taken away at the end.
Oh, no, that's not what it was. What I completely forgot what I was talking about, which is why I sounded dazed. But what I was saying in the Cheese Chat is, as a kid, I was convinced in my daydreams that I was friends with the two guys from Andromeda. In my head, they were the coolest, funniest people in the world, and I just wanted to hang out with them. And in my imagination, we would become the bestest friends, and we would create crazy space games together. So that was just, that fit in with sort of my idea of the representation of how important the Space Quest theory games are for me, because kind of like the Beatles did, the two guys from Andromeda became alive and important to me. I also didn't have a lot of toys, so.
that helped. I'm glad you added that.
Yeah, it's true. I would play with the Smurfs, and my representation of the Smurfs would be a mirror because of Vanity Smurf. So it would be me sitting on the floor playing with the mirror for hours. It turns out you don't have to buy your kids a lot of shit. They'll be fine.
That is an impressive degree of imagination there. To hold a mirror and be like, I'm a Smurf now.
Well, when your best friend's name is Cauliflower, you've got imagination to spare.
Did you at least like wrap like a bath towel on your head? You know how like girls...
Oh, no, I didn't do any of that. And Cauliflower did fly out a bus window, so it didn't last.
I don't know that reference.
It's not a reference. It was my imaginary friend Cauliflower, and one day I was catching a bus with my grandma, and it jumped out the window of the bus, and somebody said, I might have even been you at one point, gosh, your imaginary friend killed itself. And I was like, no. It jumped out the window of the bus because I was done with him, and Cauliflower could go help other children that needed a friend.
Yes, I do remember this conversation, because I remember that not being satisfying either. I'm like, so you were done with them and you just disposed of them out the window.
Well,
you're like,
jumped.
It wasn't like that. He jumped, and I'm like, so it's all right.
Yeah. Anyways, the problem that was, you have to be creative sometimes.
Well, something about Al Bundy and Space Quest 5. Yeah. We're ready for number 1. Oh, that was your number 1. Okay, so I guess that's weird. These two time codes I'll deal with that later. Doesn't matter. Just write it down without thinking. Check.
You sure gave yourself a bit of work with this. This is your idea, You did this to yourself.
I know. Look, I'll deal with that off air, young lady. I'm man, going full circle on this episode. I promise everybody I was quite reasonable from...
He was like, if we don't do this episode on this, I quit, is what he said. That's what he considers reasonable. I'm like, you know what? You quit every episode, so we always do what you want.
I have a very strict rider.
It's true.
I need Avion water and B12 packets. I don't know.
Yeah, and green sugar-free M&Ms or something.
Right, a bowl full of brown M&Ms, but the light brown ones that they don't make anymore, they replaced with blue. Mm-hmm. That's a weird thing to carry around with me. I can't believe I don't know where that fact came from. Fuck. Okay.
Your number one is, drum roll.
Well, I'm not done there, actually, because it's really weird that they would, that they would skip over blue for decades.
Yeah.
In favor of a lighter brown.
It's not a great color. Brown makes chocolate. I mean, it gives you a chocolate thought. Maybe they thought it would.
But there's already a brown, because that's fair. But it's like we got brown, check. Like, check. We got brown. What's next? And they're like brown again, and it's like it's very weird that it took them years to move away from two browns and onto blue. Mm-hmm. So, okay, number one, my excuse me, my number one. Well, for the eagle-eyed out there, I already said earlier that this was on my list and I wasn't going to say much about it. And now through the process of deduction and stuff, it's Blade Runner.
Yeah. I had a feeling that one might be on your list somewhere.
It kind of has to be. I love Space Quest and I love Roger. And part of me, roll the dice, Space Quest 5 would have been number one half the time. But Blade Runner has... God, maybe it's just like a respect from a development point of view. And then there's also how much I just adore Blade Runner, the movies, and I'm so grateful, eternally grateful that there's a point-and-click adventure game made after both of my favorite movies. Like, I really love Blade Runner, is the point. Mm-hmm. And it has 14 variations of endings. Now, granted, there's essentially 3 main endings, but those 3 diverge in little tiny details up to 14 different times, which is just unbelievably impressive. And then the other thing that's impressive about it is that it's not like superfluous or them showing off. It's perfectly integrated with the narrative of Blade Runner, which is constantly asking, I guess you could say, the deeper question or whatever, which is, what does it mean to be human? And the way they constructed the 3 different endings here, which is like basically you can side with the replicants instead of helping them escape. So you can empathize with them, even relate to them, and help them escape, which is it's just thematically just perfect for Blade Runner. Or you can walk away from all of it, or you can essentially do your job. Her name was Lucy, by the way. And so you have these different variations that all play into the themes of the story, and no matter which one you pick, the game continues to honor Blade Runner as, I guess you could say, source material by never betraying it. It keeps everything so you never actually know if you, McCoy, are a replicant or not. And the ending just has so much weight for it, because it's like no matter what path you take, the question still lingers about identity, about memory, about whether being human is something you are or something you choose. And that's the spirit of Blade Runner.
Way to get into the psychology like I did with GK. Very nice.
Oh, I thank you. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there we go. That's it.
So I have an honorable mention.
Okay.
On my list, and I'm just going to scroll down to here. So my honorable mention is the Blackstone Chronicles, which is a game that we played for a Halloween episode a number of years ago. You're in a insane asylum, and your father, Malcolm Metcalf, who's kind of like the bad guy, has stolen your son. And at the end, you kind of find out he's not necessarily dead. He's essentially the asylum itself, tied to all of the experience. The energy of Malcolm, as well as all of the patients, are still there. And you get to resolve their kind of mental issues through recovery of talk or self or such. As you go through, and then you have to recreate the horrors that they go through. But anyways, you end up breaking his control, and the asylum starts to completely lose its hold, and you end up escaping with your son. So it was very, very satisfying at the end. And really, the real threat was the way that your father looked at the world. He thought that it was all meant to be manipulated and controlled. and instead it was meant to be kind and considerate, but he was really in it for the money, and there was just a lot of neat backstory, a lot of reading in it, and I liked it. It was very clean at the end, right? Everybody's good, everybody's free, everybody's fine.
Here. It was a really fun time. I really liked that game. And yeah, I it's hard to recommend that one too, by the way, because it's so hard to play. I had to play that on a physical old computer.
Yeah, I had to use my actual CD in a Windows 98 computer to play it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, the only reason I could get it to work. And I was seeing, because you were struggling, you're like, oh, I don't know how to get this to work. I'm like, I don't know. Anyways, it's disk images and things. We got it all sorted.
Yeah. Now, I will say, if you're on a Mac and you have Parallels, then you can just install Windows 98 through Parallels and use a virtual machine. But that's just for Chad and me.
Jacob, my son, has created a virtual machine, Windows 98 environment inside his Windows 11. He's quite proud of himself. It's so that we can try to play Panzer General 3D.
Nice. I'll give an honorable shout out to Techno Babylon and Unavowed.
Nice.
I rewatched both endings of those in preparation for this show, expecting to put them on the list, and they're more just good, solid, satisfying endings than anything.
Right.
Yeah, I don't even want to say the word remarkable, because then that denigrates it. And both of them are great, perfectly satisfying, acceptable, wonderful endings of a game. It's just there's not like a thing that stands out to be like, here's why it's one of the greatest. Especially Unavowed, because I remember loving the ending to that, but it's more just, sewing up. I don't know the other part of that expression. It just kind of goes around and tidies everything up and closes each little loop.
Closed,
right. In a very satisfying, realistic, not shoehorned in way. But again, just, yeah. So,
I've kind of warmed up the idea to doing our 10 least favorite endings over the course of this episode. Because for everyone that we've said there's something good about it, in my head, I can think of ones that didn't do it quite right.
Right. Yeah, we should try that. We never do negatively framed episodes.
No, we don't.
And I'm not saying that in a we shouldn't or a high horse way, more in an opportunistic, maybe we should start tapping into that.
Exactly.
Sort of way.
You guys want to see us argue, right? Let's go.
Yeah.
Because, we're so tough on each other. Okay, so that's it. We are going to do some tabulations, and we will be right back. All right, we have put them through the Tabulamatic and come up with our winners. And our top three are number 3, Leisure Suit Larry 3 with 13 total points. Number 2, which is tied with third, Blade Runner with 13 total points. So that's funny because Leisure Suit Larry was 9th on mine and 4th on yours. And Blade Runner was 3rd on mine and 10th. That's funny. Okay. So the number 1 winner of this is Space Quest 5. So that would be a total of 19. So it blows every other one on the list right out of the water.
All the way out of the water. Back onto the shore. Yeah.
Just gone.
Well, that was a lot of fun. And I'm glad Space Quest 5 wins an arbitrary award said through a podcast one time.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, thank goodness. And then I'm all done. I just want to say to everybody, you could check out One Short Eyes video on the Phantom Fellows and I guess me. It's called something about ghosts. That's not what that's not what it's called.
The
Stop
ghost
being
game
irreverent.
that's not about death.
Yes. Right. Sorry. You take this bloody seriously. That's what it's called. What Anna just said. And it's on One Short Eyes video, and it's a documentary, a little bit about me, a little bit about making the Phantom Fellows, and I mean, it's One Short Eye, it's quality stuff. So we are his audience, let's say. So yeah, check it out. And if you do check it out, please do the YouTube thing, because it's not. God bless you. So it's not those strummers. It's just he just wanted to sneeze for you guys. It's you look. We get numb to hearing people ask for like subs and comments for algorithm stuff, but like it's Short Eye. It's me. It would help us both out a whole lot. So like. Leave a quick comment, give him a sub, press the thumbs up thing, all the things. But also, please watch it and then proceed to like it. Like emotionally like it, as opposed to the like button this time.
Right.
I mean, both. Really I guess both.
Invested, both.
If we don't mind.
Both is
Probably
good.
Just both. I'll put the link to the video in the whatever.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
And also thank you to the people that have just joined our Patreon brand new. And that would be, now I'm guessing this name is just so that we can say it. And I appreciate you for it because I love it. But thank you, Lord Dingleberry. I appreciate you joining us. And David5581 and Josh Mandel for becoming a show supporter. So you guys are all awesome.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Josh. Your game's on the list. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that, for the record, too. That wasn't like bought, you know. You're a crooked politician. I didn't know that until now. Anna does so.
Yeah, I do the does generally. And also a big, huge thank you to Gareth and Mick, Jeffrey and Mark, Brian, Chapman, and Christopher and Yanis and Tim. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And forgive my Marge Simpson. I was like, yeah, thank you. That was really...
You did it better than I could have. I've been trying. So yeah, give us an email at don'tdoamurder@gmail.com. And potentially, if we do a Patreon, you'll be able to find us there. We will let you know. Otherwise, get the Phantom Fellows on Steam, GOG. What?
If we do a Discord, right?
If we do. That's what I said. They don't expect it now, I hope. Because we haven't done anything. All I did was move my mouth a bit. And yeah, nothing actually happened. So yeah, check us out in all of those places. Get the game. Go to thephantomfellows.com to get any extra documentation you need. I had a great conversation with somebody on Facebook that said that their friend recommended the Phantom Fellows to them as a game here locally in Victoria, and that it was very much enjoyed and maybe brought back a little bit of the love of adventure games. So if you want to bring back the love of adventure games, the Phantom Fellows is definitely the way to do it. We're also on Instagram and YouTube and Mastodon and Blue Sky. Facebook, we're a page, we're a group at the Classic Gamers Guild. Go.
Don't do a murder. Pussy-winkle blue. Or wait, periwinkle.